Hey folks, Billy Whirlyword Video Productions coming at you today from in the house. It's 18 degrees outside today. Can't get out and fly. It's too dang cold. I wanted to shoot another video and in a series of beginning helicopters, and really I want to call this episode 1.5 because it really attaches to the first episode that we put out last Friday. I talked about using a simulator to practice hovers and orientations of hovers, so that's kind of what I wanted to do today, is to show you. And I've got my home theater system set up here. I'm actually running a projection screen up there behind the camera, and then I'm shooting against a screen that I made myself on the wall there that's made out of actual silver screen material, and did the whole 9 yards. So I ended up with a 140-inch screen, and I've got a laptop hooked to it for my media center. So I was like, well, I'll put RealFlight on there and fly RealFlight on the big screen, and I would let you guys check it out. So that's what we're going to do. So stay tuned and we'll fly some hovers and orientations hovers, tell you a little bit about RealFlight, and thanks a lot for watching. This particular computer is actually a laptop sitting over there on the underneath the screen. It's a dual core duo 3 gigahertz machine. It's actually about 3 years old, so it plays RealFlight 6.5 pretty good. I'm sure it would do 7 okay. Of course, your newer laptops are going to work better, and a desktop machine is going to be even faster with a better video card. My main machine is actually an Alienware desktop, and I'm getting around 130, 140 frames a second on the highest setting on graphics. You can set your graphics down. My graphics are set to high right now. And of course, this is a RealFlight 6.5. This is actually the helicopter we've got up here is a Synergy N5C, which is a helicopter I have, and it was on the bench on the video you saw the other day. One thing that I noticed, that the tail is a little faster on the simulator than mine is when I fly it. So one thing you can do is you can actually edit those things. You can go up here to quick edit under aircraft, and you can scroll down, and down at the bottom is actually where you set your flybarless system up. And you can see here a rotation rate 720 degrees per second, and I can change that. What I'll do is I think I'll change that to say 520, and we'll see what that feels like. And my ailerons, I can mess around with that a little bit. I think I'll dial these down just a little. I'm going to go from 270 to 200 on the rate. See if that makes it feel a little softer, because I know on high rate on this thing it feels a little touchy, and on low rates it doesn't feel responsive enough compared to the way I set my radio up. So you can actually go through and set the helicopters up to match more the way you have your helicopter set up. So anyway, we talked about the first thing that you need to do is learn to hover, and I'm going to go ahead and turn my sound down because it sounds really cool, but it'd be really hard to hear me talking over the nitro engine and all that good stuff. So we'll go ahead and just take off here, and I'm going to start easing up. You can see my controller on the right hand side. Hopefully that's good enough that you guys can see that. But you ease your throttle up, and that's on nitro or electric, either one. You're generally going to have a really good soft start on electric. And if I'm running a Castle machine, I generally will just flip into hold, and then I'll flip into idle up 1. I'll move my stick to the center, and then I'll flip out of hold and let it spool up all by itself. And the Castle works really good like that. But otherwise, you're going to spool up really slow, get to mid-stick. I go ahead and flip into my idle up before I even take off. So I'm going into idle up 1 right there. Then I'll go ahead and increase my pitch to take off. So you're going to try to stay in a hover, try to stay close. I'm trying to stay close enough for you guys to see it. I'd actually push out, in real life, I'm going to push out to the other side of the runway over here and kind of stay away from myself a little bit. But for the video, I'm going to come in a little closer so you guys can see the helicopter a little better. And I'll step in the frame for just a second. You'll see my shadow in the back of me, but you can see that on this screen, it's a 140-inch screen. That's pretty much a life-size helicopter there. So as far as life-size RC anyway. But try to stay your hover, keep that tail end towards you, and it's going to drift around a little bit. Right now I don't have any wind at all set up on the simulator, which you're really rarely ever going to have 0 wind, but helicopters do really well in the wind. So a lot of airplane guys, if it's windy, they won't even be able to fly, but helicopter guys can get up there because it doesn't seem to work much on the flybarless systems especially, but even the flybar systems did pretty good in the wind, but the flybarless ones are much better. So practice that hover, keep that tail in front of you, get used to it where you can control it all the time, and then start rotation of that tail. Feel how that feels like. If you mess up, pull that tail back. So push it away, pull it back. And you want to practice that in every orientation. I'll spit it out there and say it. So once you practice in all orientations, and never fly back behind you, of course, you should be able to nose in hover just as well as you tail in hover from the right side, from the left side, well, all the time. And I'm putting in little small inputs, but I am putting in inputs so that it doesn't take off flying like crazy. And I'm not trying to just keep it dead in one spot. I'm just trying to maintain control of the helicopter and keep it from flying too fast forward. It's really once you fly forward, once you start that forward motion, it really flies more like an airplane. You just have to use your tail. Now, the real flight, the 6.5, I have tried 7. The only thing that I don't like as far as the way the helicopter feels is in an auto rotation. So if I go ahead just from this short distance with my head speed there at idle at 1 and I flip into hold, I should have pretty good energy in that. And you can see it drops pretty fast, and right there is full pitch. I had absolute full pitch on it right there just to keep it from falling. My 600, 700 especially doesn't do that, but the 600 doesn't do that either. I would have a lot more energy in that head than what the flight simulator seems like I have. So the Phoenix, it feels like the energy's left in the head a little more. But that's really the biggest deal. I mean, once you tweak, I tweaked it, you see where I tweaked that flybarless system a little bit. And the Phoenix, the version that I have, you hook your transmitter to a dongle. So I'm actually using my transmitter and actually using the setup of the helicopter I'm flying as my template to fly with on the simulator. So it feels a lot more like my helicopter. But if I sit and tweak that on that quick edit page, I can get this feeling pretty dang good. It's doing pretty good there. And I'm in idle at 1. I can go to 2, get a little more head speed out of it. I'm also in low rates too. If I flip to high rates, it goes crazy. So anyway, practice that hovering 10 minutes a day, trying to get your orientations of all orientations of hovering. I know it's boring. You've seen I went and flew around because I got bored a little bit hovering. So it's okay to do that, but practice so that you shouldn't crash anytime you're in a hover. You should be able to control the helicopter in any orientation of hover and not be afraid you're actually going to crash. This will make you a lot better when you get out in the field. And when you get out in the field and you start practicing hovering, that boring kind of goes away. You'll sit and burn tanks of gas and lots of batteries in every hover and not get bored because the factor of carrying your helicopter comes into play when you're in the real one. So folks, hope you liked that video. Please rate, subscribe, give me a big thumbs up. We'll see you next time on Whirlybird Video Productions.